Alright, hello everyone. If anyone didn't catch the last video, basically my audio I forgot to record, and for that reason I'm just going to do some overlay sound after the fact. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. Whoops, right now for you. So I'm going to play the video. You're going to see my mouth moving. It's not going to correspond to what I'm saying whatsoever. But this is another 10-minute game in our speedrun, and we're against a 1600 as you can see in this game. And if I recall correctly, this guy took a while to make his first move. It was like 30 seconds or something like that. And I was looking at his account when I had a second. Normally you want to try doing that before you start the game, just to see if they have anything showing that they could potentially be cheating. But this person didn't seem bad anyway. But you want to do it before the game starts, because if you do that on the first move, after you make a move, then it's going to make you play it out. You can no longer abort the game. Move my mouse over to the other side. Yeah, we have a nice little time advantage here. If I recall correctly, he takes on b4, so I take. And now what I'm basically saying is that if you see him play knight f6 followed by c6, then there's a decent chance he's cheating. However, he just fell for the blunder instead. And here it's a blunder because you're forking three different squares. You're threatening the queen, you're threatening the bishop, and then you're also threatening the pawn on c7, which would win you a rook, a pawn, and he can't castle no more. So it's very much losing now for black. He could protect one. Yep, so he chose to protect the bishop. However, you want to be what I'm explaining now, or what I'm probably about to explain in the video, is that you do not want to capture on a8. And the reason as to why you don't want to capture on a8 is because you're just going to have bishop takes d2, queen's going to have to take, queen takes a1, and then you have a repetition. Queen can just go from a1 to c3 check over and over and over, and there's nowhere that the king can ever move to. So that ends up being a draw at that point. So instead I just moved my rook over to c1, and that way that rook can never be captured, and he can never get that repetition on me. Obviously, the rook is still hanging, so I've, no sweat. If you were to go something like king to d8 here, for example, instead of king to f8, the previous move, then he would be able to take the knight. However, you have pawn to c3 as an option threatening his queen, where, he's going to have to move the queen away, and then you can take the rook after all. So you just have to make sure they don't, screw up this, what do you call it, gambit? I wouldn't say it's a gambit, just like this trick or this trap. So here I think I was considering the move rook to b1, but then he's just going to take on a2 anyway. And then I was considering going to a1 after that, threatening a7 with my rook, but his bishop is covering that square, so I don't think it's as good as I thought it was. He may still have taken the pawn, but I don't know if I necessarily went rook a1. Yeah, so he threatens my queen. I obviously can't take that, because then he's going to take my rook. And I'm just debating which way I want to take care of that bishop. Trying to think if I want to block with the bishop, block with the knight, if I want to put a pawn move in there. I think I end up choosing to put a bishop there. Yep. Right, so now he switches targets onto the c2 square. Alright, and now I take a good little while to think, but essentially what I'm considering is how I want to, play this situation out. Because I know if I take the pawn on b7, that if I take the knight on b8, I can win his rook. However, the king is going to come to e7, And then he is, in the meanwhile, going to take my pawn on c2 as an in-between move, and my queen is going to be in danger. So I'm basically trying to think if I want to take that trade or not. And in the end, I did decide that that's fine for me, because once you total everything up, I get a pawn, I get his knight, I get his rook, and then he's going to have to trade his bishop for my queen. So I get a bishop, a knight, and a rook for my queen. And that's when I'm already up a full rook. So I have absolutely no problems with that trade. He's only going to have two pieces to work with, that being his bishop and his queen. And I'm going to have both rooks, both knights, and a bishop to work with myself. Yep. So I say, okay, we'll make the trade. And I'm also okay with this because none of my pieces are in danger and I'm able to castle immediately. His dark square bishop also does not coordinate extremely well with his queen. If he, for example, were to go like, bishop b4 instead of queen b1 and threaten the d2 square, then I quite simply would have just played knight to f3 and then that threat is no more and I could still castle. Alright, so here I just go for the easy trade of pieces. Good rule of thumb, if you're ahead, trade off. I am very much ahead. I think that knight to f3 would have actually been more accurate, protecting that, what's it called? d2 square. However, I let him have it if he wants it, yeah. I'm winning so much so it doesn't really matter, but I think it would have been more precise to go the other way. Yeah, none of my pieces are in danger here, so. And I'm spending a bit of time here just because I want to think what's the quickest way to end this without him kind of just chasing me around with his queen. Oh, I forgot another important thing that I said. I think I actually reviewed this game. Yeah, there's a bit of time here. I don't think the game actually took that long. But one thing that I believe I said is that I'm going to switch to 30-minute instead of 10-minute once I get to 1800 rating on this account. And the reason for that is, one, I think I'm a rather slow player, and I think that it'll kind of delay the climb if I spend too much time playing 10 minutes because I'm just going to flip-flop wins at some point. So I'm going to switch to 30-minute. It also gives me more time to explain my moves, which I think will definitely be necessary the higher up that I get. Here I hang my bishop because there's a mate available. And I'm okay with going rook d8 just because I'll be able to take that with my knight. So yeah, expect 30-minute games once I hit 1800 rating, which is still a little bit away, but we are, slowly approaching, so. Alright, and we get the resignation. And yeah, there's still a minute here, so I don't know what I did. Probably that announcement that I just said. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to stop it right here, and then I'll catch you on the next video.